Napoleon Hill wisely declared, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But first, you must keep your mind fixed on the things you want and off the things you don't want." This simple yet profound principle transformed lives. Yet so many of us fall into the trap of dwelling on failures, fears, and obstacles that hold us back. Imagine someone constantly obsessing over the possibility of losing their job, replaying worst-case scenarios in their mind, which only breeds hesitation and procrastination. This negative mental loop creates a cycle of self-doubt, where every step forward feels like wading through quicksand. It's heartbreaking to see potential with it, because we're fixated on what we don't want, rather than channeling our energy toward what we desire. The need for change is urgent. Shifting your mental focus isn't just helpful, it's essential for unlocking personal growth and emotional resilience. Drawing from Hill's philosophy, action stems directly from thought, so merely knowing what you want isn't enough. You must actively redirect your mind away from fears like failure and toward visions of achievement. When you sustain this positive focus, it generates an unstoppable energy that propels you forward, turning dreams into reality. Think about it. Waiting for the perfect moment or emotional high is a fool's game that keeps you stuck. Why aren't you taking action right now? Often, it's because we're waiting for motivation to strike, especially when our thoughts are tangled in avoiding the negatives. For instance, someone dreaming of starting a business might delay indefinitely, fixated on the financial risks they don't want, draining their mental energy in the process. This dependency on fleeting feelings keeps you in a reactive state, where fear overshadows your true desires. Hill pointed out, it's a vicious cycle that robs you of the proactive progress you deserve. Another barrier is the failure to decide, born from a divided mind split between what you want and what you fear. Picture a person unsure about a relationship, constantly dwelling on potential heartbreak instead of envisioning a loving future, which paralyzes any real decision making. Like a driver glued to the rearview mirror, you're missing the road ahead, caught in PT mistakes and doubts. Hill's teachings remind us that clear, decisive thoughts are impossible without evicting those nagging negatives first. This indecision weighs heavily on the soul, leaving you feeling lost and unfulfilled. Then there's the overwhelming grip of fear and uncertainty, which amplifies when your mind is cluttered with what you don't want. Take an athlete who fixates on the embarrassment of losing a race, allowing that fear to sabotage their performance before they even start. These mental constructs grow stronger the more we feed them, turning hesitation into a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the turning point. The solution lies in immediate action, which has the power to shift your focus from negatives to positives and create real momentum. Hill emphasized, focusing on what you want generates energy and clarity, like taking that first small step toward financial independence by researching investments instead of obsessing over debt. Each action reinforces a positive feedback loop, building confidence with every move you make. It's exhilarating to realize that you don't have to wait for motivation. It can follow your actions. Building decisiveness starts with training your mind to prioritize your desires over doubts, creating a mental habit that Hill championed. Try this. Develop a focus filter where you consciously replace thoughts like, I might fail this project with affirmations like, I will complete this project successfully. Over time, this practice turns hesitation into bold resolve, empowering you to act without second guessing. Remember, every great achievement began with a single, decisive step. Now, let's practice the first step. Don't just think about it, do it. If your goal is better health, pause and take a 5-minute walk right now, visualizing the benefits you want rather than the discomfort you don't. This simple act can shift your entire mindset, proving that action begets more action. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head on, and action is your most effective weapon. Hill taught that fear loses its power when you redirect your focus to desired outcomes, like an individual with public speaking anxiety visualizing applause instead of ridicule. Through visualization exercises, you can replace fearful thoughts with vivid images of success, turning what W once paralyzing into a source of strength. It's a liberating process, one that frees you from the chains of doubt and sets you on a path of emotional resilience. Learning through failure is another key. It's not the end, but a teacher, and fixating on it only amplifies its sting. Instead, reframe failure's steps toward growth, focusing on the lessons and future wins an entrepreneur might after a financial setback. Hill's principle shows that this mental shift turns setbacks into opportunities, fostering the resilience needed to keep going. Cultivating self discipline is the true key to success, built by consistently focusing on your desires rather than avoiding negatives. Discipline acts the engine of progress, training your mind to prioritize long term goals over short term fears, just Hill described. For example, waking up early for a science project becomes a habit when you focus on the fulfillment it brings, not the initial discomfort. This discipline doesn't come overnight. It's forged through daily commitment and emotional fortitude. Building positive habits is essential, and they start with small, intentional actions that align with what you want. Keep a desire journal where you write about your goals each morning, deliberately ignoring doubts and embracing your vision. Hill taught these habits compound over time, transforming fleeting motivation into enduring self discipline. You'll find that with each positive habit, your emotional resilience grows stronger. Developing a clear vision and goals is what keeps your focus sharp, acting a mental anchor against the pull of negatives. Hill's philosophy highlights that specific, vivid goals, like aiming to earn $100,000 through your business, direct your thoughts and sustain progress. Without this clarity, vague thinking leads to stagnation, but with it, you're propelled forward with purpose. It's incredibly empowering to have a vision that excites you and repels fear. To make this practical, use visualization to make your goals tangible. Create a vision board filled only with desired outcomes. Break your goals into daily actions, ensuring each step reinforces your positive focus and keeps negatives at bay. Regularly audit your thoughts, Hill advised, to eliminate any that don't align with your vision, maintaining that forward momentum. This process will make your dreams feel achievable and real. You implement these steps, you'll notice a profound shift in your emotional state, from anxiety to anticipation. In conclusion, let's reaffirm the core idea from Napoleon Hill. Keep your mind on the things you want, and off the things you don't want, because true motivation and success follow focused action. This mental discipline is the foundation for overcoming procrastination and achieving lasting results in your life. Remember, it's not about waiting for the world to change. It's about changing your focus first. The power to transform lies within your thoughts, and by directing them wisely, you unlock endless possibilities. Think of all the lives that have been changed by this simple principle. Yours can be next. Now, here's your call to action. Right now, identify one thing you truly want and commit to a 5-minute action toward it. Don't let fear hold you back. Take that step and feel the shift in your mindset. Your mind's focus is your greatest power. Harness it today and watch your life begin to transform. Imagine the relief of letting go of doubts and embracing your desires fully. This is your moment to break free from the cycle of hesitation and step into a future of growth and fulfillment. Hill would say, the starting point of all achievement is desire, so start with that desire and let it guide you. Challenge yourself to revisit this principle daily, using it as a guide for ongoing personal development. You've got the tools now. Use them to build the life you deserve. Feel the emotional surge of possibility you commit to this path. Remember, every journey begins with a single, focused thought. Make yours one of unwavering determination. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But first, you must keep your mind fixed on the things you want and off the things you don't want. Imagine waking up every day consumed by thoughts of failure, like the fear of losing your job, instead of picturing the promotion you desire. This negative focus creates a vicious cycle where hesitation builds and opportunities slip away. You're not alone in this struggle. Many people dwell on obstacles, turning what could be a path to success into a roadblock of self-doubt. Take Sarah, for example, who constantly worries about her mounting debts rather than envisioning financial freedom through smart investments. Her mind, cluttered with fears, leaves no room for the positive actions that could change her life. The key to breaking free lies in shifting your mental energy toward what you truly desire. Napoleon Hill teaches, success begins in the mind, where focused thoughts ignite the spark for real change. Without this shift, you'll remain stuck, waiting for motivation that never arrives. Remember, knowing what you want isn't enough. You must actively push away the negatives to make space for progress. Now, let's explore why you're not taking action, starting with the myth that motivation must come first. You might think, I'll start that business once I feel excited. But if you're fixated on potential risks, that excitement never builds. This dependency on fleeting feelings keeps you reactive, not proactive. Hill warned. Consider John, who dreams of writing a book but obsesses over rejection letters he ain't even received. His fear drains his energy, leaving him paralyzed on the couch instead of at his desk. By focusing on what you don't want, you feed a cycle of inaction that grows stronger with each sing day. Indecisiveness often stems from a divided mind, torn between desires and doubts. When you dwell on uncertainties, like the fear of a relationship ending, you can't clearly see the path to what you want. It's like driving while staring in the rearview mirror. You're bound to see RH into the future. Hill emphasized that clear decisions require a single-minded focus, free from the clutter of negatives. Without evicting those doubts, your goals remain just distant dreams. Fear and uncertainty amplify when your thoughts are dominated by what could go wrong. An athlete might visualize tripping during a race instead of crossing the finish line first, turning self-fulfilling prophecy into reality. This mental habit, Hill pointed out, is a construct that thrives on attention. To overcome it, you must redirect your focus to the victory you seek. The solution starts with immediate action, no matter how small, to shift your mind from negatives to positives. Hill said, action generates its own energy, pulling you toward what you want. For instance, if you desire financial independence, don't just think about it, research one investment option right now. That first step creates a feedback loop, where success breeds more success. Building decisiveness means training your mind to prioritize desires over doubts every single day. Try this. Whenever a negative thought arises, like, I might fail, replace it with, I will succeed. Over time, this habit, inspired by Hill, turns hesitation into confidence. Practicing the first step is crucial. Don't wait for the perfect moment. If your goal is better health, lace up your shoes and walk for 5 minutes, focusing on the energy you'll gain, not the temporary discomfort. Do it now. Pause and take that action. Feel how it clears your mind. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head on with actions tied to what you want. Hill taught that fear shrinks when you feed your desires instead. For public speaking, visualize the applause, not the ridicule, and watch your anxiety fade. You practice. Use simple strategies like daily visualization to replace fearful thoughts with empowering images. Each time you do, you're building momentum that turns hesitation into bold steps forward. Learning through failure becomes easier when you reframe it as a stepping stone. Instead of fixating on a loss, focus on the lessons and the next win, Hill advised. An entrepreneur who loses on a venture can redirect their mind to future successes, transforming setbacks into growth. This shift fosters resilience, keeping you moving toward your goals. Cultivating self-discipline is the true key, built by consistently focusing on what you want. Hill saw discipline the engine of progress, where daily habits override short-term fears. For example, waking up early for your science project becomes routine when you concentrate on the fulfillment, not the grogginess. Building positive habits starts with small, deliberate actions that reinforce your desires. Keep a desire journal and write about your goals each morning, ignoring any doubts that creep in. Over time, these habits compound, turning motivation into unbreakable discipline. Developing a clear vision and goals acts an anchor for your mind, repelling negatives. Hill stressed that specific goals, like earning $100,000 through your business, keep your focus sharp and sustain progress. Without them, vague fears take over, leading to stagnation. Make your goals tangible through visualization. Create a vision board filled only with desired outcomes. Break them into daily actions, ensuring each one aligns with your positive focus. Regularly audit your thoughts, Hill suggested, to eliminate any negatives that slip in. This practice keeps you aligned with your vision, driving continuous forward movement. In conclusion, remember Hill's core idea. Keep your mind on the things you want, and off the things you don't want. This mental discipline is what turns potential into reality, overcoming procrastination and sparking lasting success. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. You've learned today. So, take that one small step right now. Identify something you want and commit to 5 minutes of action on it. Your mind's focus is your greatest power. Shift it today and watch your life transform in ways you never imagined. Hill would say, "The future belongs to those who focus on their desires. Start now and claim yours." Napoleon Hill wisely stated, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, but only if we first enter the art of keeping our thoughts fixed on our desires." Too often, we fall into the trap of dwelling on what we don't want, like the fear of failure or the anxiety of rejection, which only amplifies those very outcomes. Picture this. You're dreaming of a promotion, yet your mind races with thoughts of being overlooked or criticized, turning your ambition into a cycle of self-doubt. This negative focus drains your energy, leaving you hesitant and stuck, when what you truly desire is just within reach if you shift your mental gaze. Remember, success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about redirecting your thoughts from obstacles to opportunities, Hill teaches. When you constantly think about what you don't want, like financial struggles, you're feeding that reality instead of nurturing the abundance you seek. Break free from this mental prison by consciously choosing to visualize the life you want, filled with achievement and joy. Hill's principle reminds us that our minds are powerful magnets. They attract what we focus on. So let's make sure it's the positives that draw us forward. Consider the person who obsesses over potential job loss. Their fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, while ignoring the steps to career growth. Instead, flip the script. Focus on the skills you're building and the successes ahead, and watch how action follows suit. The need for change is urgent because a mind cluttered with negatives robs you of the drive to act, keeping you in a state of inertia. Hill emphasized that true progress begins when you evict those unhelpful thoughts and replace them with vivid images of your goals. Don't let fear dictate your path. Decide today to keep your mind on the victories you're destined for. In essence, shifting your focus isn't just helpful, it's essential for transforming dreams into reality. Now, let's explore why so many people remain stagnant, waiting for motivation that never arrives. You might believe that motivation must strike before you take action, especially when fears of what you don't want loom large. But Hill would argue that's backward. Focusing on risks, like business failure, only postpones the excitement of potential success. For instance, delaying a project because you're fixated on possible setbacks means you're letting what you don't want control your narrative. This dependency on fleeting feelings keeps you reactive, not proactive, trapping you in a loop of hesitation. Shift your energy. Think about the thrill of achievement, and motivation will emerge you move forward. Indecisiveness often stems from a mind divided between desires and doubts, like worrying about a relationship's end instead of its potential. Hill teaches that a split focus is like driving with one foot on the brake. You can't gain speed until you commit fully to what you want. When you dwell on uncertainties, decisions become paralyzed, even when your heart knows the right path. Clear your mental road by evicting those doubts and zeroing in on your true parations. Fear and uncertainty grow when you feed them, such an athlete fixated on the shame of defeat rather than the glory of winning. This self-sabotage is a common pitfall, but Hill's wisdom shows that redirecting to positive outcomes diminishes fear's grip. Imagine replacing thoughts of failure with visions of triumph. Suddenly, hesitation fades, and action becomes inevitable. The solution lies in immediate action, Hill advocated, because even a small step toward what you want builds unstoppable momentum. Don't wait for the fear to subside. Act on your desires, like researching investments to achieve financial independence, and feel the shift. Each action reinforces positive focus, creating a loop where success breeds more success. Just Hill described. Building decisiveness starts with training your mind to prioritize what you want, using tools like affirmations to crowd out doubts. For example, replace "I might fail" with "I will succeed," and watch how this mental habit turns hesitation into resolve. Hill believed that decisiveness is forged through repeated focus on desires, making it a skill you can enter. Now, practice the first step. If your goal is better health, take a quick walk while visualizing vitality, not discomfort. This simple act redirects your mind and sparks a chain reaction of progress. Pause for a moment and do one small TK toward your biggest desire. Feel the immediate shift in your mindset. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head on with action toward what you want, Hill suggested. When you visualize success, like applause after a speech, the anxiety of ridicule melts away. Use exercises like daily visualization to replace fearful thoughts, turning what W once a barrier into a bridge to achievement. Remember, fear loses its power when you consistently focus on your desires, propelling you forward with confidence. Learning through failure becomes empowering when you reframe it a step toward growth, not a defeat. An entrepreneur who loses on a venture should fixate on lessons learned and future wins, not the loss itself. Hill taught that setbacks are teachers, but only if your mind is trained on what you want, fostering resilience. Cultivating self-discipline is the true key to success, built by keeping your focus on desires rather than avoiding negatives. Hill explained, discipline thrives when you prioritize long-term goals, like waking early for a science project, over short-term fears. This habit turns discomfort into fulfillment, creating a foundation for sustained progress. Building positive habits starts with daily practices, such affirmations that reinforce what you want and dismiss what you don't. Keep a desire journal to document your goals each morning, ignoring doubts and building mental strength over time. Hill's teachings show that these habits compound, turning motivation into unbreakable discipline. Developing a clear vision and goals acts an anchor, keeping your mind locked on what you want and repelling distractions. Specific goals, like earning a set income through your business, direct your thoughts and sustain momentum, per Hill's philosophy. Vague thinking leads to stagnation, but vivid goals make your path crystal clear. Use visualization tools, like a vision board, to make your desires tangible and push out any negatives. Break goals into daily actions, ensuring each step reinforces your positive focus and keeps you aligned. Regularly audit your thoughts to eliminate unhelpful ones, maintaining the mental discipline Hill championed. In conclusion, Hill profoundly stated, keep your mind on the things you want, and off the things you don't want, for this is the essence of true success. Motivation and achievement follow focused action, not the other way around, breaking the chains of procrastination. This mental shift is your foundation for a transformed life, turning dreams into tangible results. Now, I urge you to apply this principle immediately. Identify one desire and take a 5-minute action toward it right now. Remember, your mind's focus is your greatest power. Harness it today and watch your world change. You move forward. Revisit these ideas often, for in Hill's words, consistent focus is the key to unlocking your full potential.